Last week, the S&P 500 advanced 1.5%, the Nasdaq rose 1%, and the Dow Jones climbed 1.3%. US S&P 500 stock prices hit successive days of all-time highs throughout the week amid positive sentiment on the back of mostly positive earnings, and as the US and EU moved towards a trade deal. While Tesla reported narrowly disappointing earnings, Google posted much better than expected results. Crude oil and natural gas prices finished the week lower in a well-supplied market. Gold prices hit a one-month high, but pulled back to end slightly lower as risk-on sentiment pushed traders away from safe haven instruments. Silver recorded another 13-year peak early in the week, but also finished the week lower. Platinum prices hit another decade high on Monday, but like palladium, declined by Friday's close. This week's trade news will take center stage after the US and EU signed a trade deal on Sunday, with the EU agreeing to a 15% tariff on its exports to the US, creating further market positivity. On Monday and Tuesday, US-China trade talks will be key. The US deadline of August 1st is looming, and the US could impose tariffs on countries that haven't signed deals by this date. Markets are set for a bumper week of major economic data, with the Fed meeting on Wednesday to decide on interest rates and NFP data due on Friday. While no change in rates is expected, markets will await comments from Fed Chair Powell. The earnings season enters into its busiest week with Microsoft, Facebook, July 30th, Apple and Amazon, July 31st, set to post results. OPEC Plus is also set to meet on August 3rd. Reddit's price jumped 3.12%, rising to a two-week high midweek. The stock has recently capitalized on increased optimism over the company's success in attracting advertisers and revenue from AI partnerships with giants such as Google and OpenAI. Last week, Bernstein reflected this positivity by increasing Reddit's price target to $150. Traders are more optimistic about the company's earnings, which will be posted on July 31st after Reddit beat earnings expectations for the first time since its IPO in Q1. Novo Nordisk's stock price surged 10.9% to a more than one-month peak last week. Catalysts included the recent strategic collaboration with Arc Health to develop chronic disease services powered by AI. Other recent AI partnerships include those with NVIDIA DCAI, Microsoft, and Deep Apple in relation to obesity and disease treatment. Expectations for Novo's upcoming earnings are strong, with investors anticipating continued success from Ozempic and Wegovy weight loss drugs. The company's earnings will be posted on August 6th. Crude oil prices declined 1.6% and hit a one-week low before paring some losses by Friday's close. Oil prices remain under pressure after reports suggested that OPEC could increase production by more than expected from September. Recent OPEC and IEA reports have also suggested that demand could soften in the coming months. However, U.S. inventories fell last week, and progress on a possible US-EU trade deal suggests oil demand could remain firm. Gold prices fell 0.34%, with the precious metal under some pressure following a US-Japan trade deal, and hints from US and European officials that a US-EU trade deal is nearing conclusion. Last week's firmer greenback also applied pressure to gold, largely calculated in dollars, making the commodity more expensive for foreign currency traders. Copper prices surged to an all-time high before pulling back slightly, but still ended 4% higher. The commodity's price jumped as markets prepared for U.S. copper tariffs of 50% to take effect on August 1st. The U.S. imports 45% of its copper consumption, and in recent days, copper shipments to the U.S. have spiked, boosting global prices. Clean energy demand for copper continues to underpin the commodity, with copper demand forecasts remaining strong this year. The USD-CAD pair eased 0.18% lower as optimism faded over a trade deal before the August 1st deadline, raising tariff fears. But the dollar weakened after Goldman Sachs downgraded US GDP forecasts. The Fed and the Bank of Canada will meet next week to decide on interest rates. While no immediate changes are expected, the chances of rate cuts from both banks are much higher for September.